Greek vases. If you go to a museum and you go through the Greek section, you will see all sorts of Greek pottery. Primarily the vases were made out of red clay. They would glaze them with a black and carve out some of their designs when they would make their pots. So on this vase, you can look at several different kinds of vases. These are worksheets from a long time ago, but you guys all have iPads, so you can Google different shapes for vases, for vessels that the Greeks would use. Beautiful pottery. I do make patterns for some students because, again, what's important about this project is coming up with the patterns and the myth and the stories that you're going to decorate your vase with. But I think it's fun to cut out your own vase. So I'm going to fold the paper in half. Away from the fold, I put my hand on the fold. And then you can draw your vase. You can look at some of the examples I gave you, or that you've looked up on your iPad, or you can create your own vase. Once I've done that, I will cut it out. And sometimes drawing people is extremely hard, and I don't want to make this a project that you don't like. So if you don't want to draw a myth, then you can look at some of the Greek gods, or you can look at Google Greek patterns, Greek gods, things in nature. I'm going to divide my vase into different sections, because again, if you look at a Greek vase, you will notice that in each section they kind of have a different sort of pattern, like what you see on here. And my myth, I did Poseidon, was very cartoon-like, which is fine, but use your iPad to come up with some different patterns that you can use in your project. The square spiral works. And again, if it's a pattern like this, go ahead and do it right in Sharpie. I grabbed a Sharpie that did not work very well. I do love a contrast between a thick and a fine point Sharpie. So even if my design is as simple as doing just lines, I can vary those lines by coming back in with a skinny. Usually somewhere on the vase it tells a story, whether it's of a myth or of the Olympics or something that is going on. So I would find a big image that you might want to put here. Again, if drawing people is super hard for you, find something else you can do. Maybe you're just going to do waves, or you could do a boat. Everybody should be able to draw a boat with some sails. You don't have to necessarily draw the Greek god in there, but their vases told stories. So find something that you want to talk about from Greek culture that you have learned, or depict a myth in there. And again, I'm filling these other spaces. And again, look at some of the vases, because you'll see some spaces use a lot of black paint, or there will be a lot of red and there'll be thin lines. So we're really looking for a contrast of thick and thin lines, big areas that are painted red, small areas that are done. When you are all done and you have drawn your vase, we want to make it look three-dimensional. So on one side, I'm going to take a piece of white chalk and I'm going to go down that side and I'm going to lightly rub it with my finger. Don't blow the chalk dust into anybody's hand or face. And then on the other side, using a gray or a black, I accidentally grabbed brown, I'm going to shade that side. Sometimes you can, where your pot might curve, like it curves here, I might go in a little bit deeper with my shading. So that's what it'll look like when you're done. So on this one, I did just the opposite. Here's the white. The highlight was on this side. And then my shadow was on the other side. Extensions you could do is same thing. Draw your pot on a white piece of paper. You can color it with Cray-Pas. Maybe you color it all red, you color it all orange, you color it both, it doesn't matter. Then you're going to paint it with a black tempera paint. And just like in the other one, you're going to divide that space up into different sections. And I'm just using a stick. I have a toothpick here as well. And you can scratch off your design. What I love about this technique is that's actually what they would do when they would do their Greek vases, is that they would paint and then scratch off some of their design. So the black would be the glaze, the red was the underneath part that you would see. So that would be an option to do for your pot. Again, this was colored. I drew my vase. I colored it in with oil pastels. And you really want to, you have to color it hard so you don't see any white. And that does take a while. Then you paint it all with black paint. Again, having a sketch already done. Then you can go back with just simple wooden tools. Even a paper clip works to scratch the paint off when you are done.